they're claimable on, like, the mounts you've seen. As you can see, they're claimable by different characters on my account. The mounts that you get from treasure chests and such, you can't claim them on another character. So when you unlock it on one character, that's it. Now let me just go ahead and show you this move so I can move on. I want to show you one individual character, because if it doesn't kill a character, it tends to spread. I'm going to use it on him. This is how the move looks. Yeah, $80 worth, people. I know you're like, really? But you know what's the really cool thing about that move? Besides the benefits it has in PvP, when you're fighting a boss, it does so much sustained damage. It has a little stun, like a millisecond stun, but it does so much sustained damage that it kind of, I know what you're thinking. Well, I'm about to say you think what? It makes the boss trigger you, and I know you're like, you don't want the boss to trigger you if you're a class that doesn't have that much damage, but in this game you also have like escape moves. I tend to use this move wisely, so I'm never really in that much danger of, because in this game, if you're doing a lot of damage to the mini boss or boss, no matter how much times a person taunts, like the tanks, the boss will really target you, and he'll just straight come after you, no matter how many taunts are thrown at him. So if you're good with escaping and throwing that Dying Book of the Dead, you'll be fine. Also, my companion is this thing whirling around my head. Don't think I forgot about that. 'Cause remember, I told you I was going to show you every companion on each character on each alt. This is actually my companion. This orb floating around my head. Also, this is a costume I got. I just straight out bought a costume because I remember at a time a lot of people were rolling mages. Because evidently, like I said, he's like usually the strongest class. So I just got a costume to differentiate myself. The mask, I believe, came free with some type of reward program. So I just added the mask. I dyed the mask and I dyed the costume. It was, I forgot it was a event. I think it was an event with the orcs. So yeah, I threw on the costume. This is how he really looks. Yeah, like I bought the courtesan's garb. And this is how my character would look if he didn't have the costumes on. Right now, he looks bland. That skull is also from that orc event. Another thing, just a little side real quick. I tend to, when I start a character, like I said, I try to take advantage of most of the things that are advantageous to do in the game. So in this game, they have weapons that grow in power with your character. So I don't like to, because you know how it works in MMOs. You go through the whole dungeon. There's some MMOs where everyone gets a role, and then there's some MMOs where only one person gets a role. This is one of those MMOs where only one person gets a role. Only one person is going to win the role, basically. So I didn't want to keep, like, you'll always get new armor, as you'll see. You'll always get blue, purple. You always get armor, but your weapons, it's possible to be sitting back with a 3 or 5 level weapon, and you're at a higher level, and you're just not taking that much damage from enemies, or even PvP if you're gonna partake in those game modes. So I just go ahead and go on the auction house, and I go outright just buy these for diamonds. I usually try to have enough or save enough diamonds or transfer enough, I believe it's Zen, to acquire this. Like I said, this particular stream, to show you right, we're going to show you more than just a regular account. I transfer him back. We're going to show you what's it like when you make cash out purchases. You spend a little, you support. I want your support. I show support, as you see. Let me move on to another character. I believe, let me see. I don't think he has any other unique. Oh, yeah, that's it. You can name your companions and give them specific powers. Some rune stones I got. I spent a pretty change, like in terms of diamonds, for them. But some characters needed it, because as I learned later on, some companions, matter of fact, besides this companion I'm showing you right now, 6, all of the companions, their AI makes them actually weak. So if you don't really get and this is just another tip, if you don't get a companion who heals, they'll pretty much be useless unless you have a companion. You max out your companion's level, because if you start it, you can really turn a green companion to a blue to a purple, but the only side effect to that would be that you're starting at green. I like to get companions at higher colors, so I'll just the next level, it just be closer to the max. Also, I haven't made a character, you go from green, blue, and purple, but I've heard and I've read on forums that when you do that, you have to spend a lot of diamonds. It's close to, I think, the 100,000s to maybe millions. I'm not sure, but I have heard you have to spend a certain amount of diamonds. Now, this is actually a half orc, and he used to look more human orc like. Oh, and don't worry, these weapons are just skins. They're not any epic weapons. Epic weapons usually have a greater special effects to them. But yeah, he looked more human orcish, and so another thing, I tend to get a little inspired by seeing other people play the game and their characters. I didn't basically mimic him off of someone. I just saw someone who had another character who looked a lot more orcish than half human and orcish. So I was like, oh, I didn't know I can have a character who just looked more orc. Because if that would have been the option to select, I would have just selected an orc. But I guess in Dungeons and Dragons world, you have to have a half human to give him some type of civilization, type of culture. So yeah, I had spent a couple more tokens to just change his appearance. I just changed his appearance to look a little bit more orcish. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you his companion. Now his was a companion. Like I said, it was going from ascending to descending order. For you don't know, they just top up the bottom. But yeah, his was the first companion I got where it wasn't a level I would have ever accepted, but the companion looked so unique, I didn't mind. I kind of let it slide, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you that right now. Again, these aren't unique weapons. If you ever see me playing in a group with other people and my weapon's the only one glowing or it looks unique, like I said, it's just the skin. The blue aura around this is because we're standing around someone who has a high level jewel attached or attuned to one of their armors. Also, this, whenever you see that there's no timer on this and you see this glow, you want to go ahead and press that and you can pray. In the game, you set up a god in your backstory. When you pray, it's a chance you'll receive rough astro diamonds. You can refine these in your account. I believe you can have a maximum of 26,000 to 28,000 you can refine a day. You can also receive experience. Now, one of these you will never stop collecting, but I'm not sure either or, but one of these, if you miss out on a day on playing, it will reset back to 1. Now this is something crazy I'm about to tell you. There's a reward. Like I said, one of these you'll always keep collecting every time you log in a game and you collect one of them. I'm not sure if it's the Ardent, but let's just say for argument's sake it's the Ardent. The Celestial, you need 360 to get an angel companion. I hear she's really rare. I've never seen the character in game, per se. I've never seen anyone on the team had her. But that's 360 days of non-stop logging. I would have experienced burnout maybe 30 days. So I don't know who owns that. If you do own that, my hat is tipped off to you. I'm gonna go ahead and just move away from this person so you can see my character a little closely. As you'll see, as I move farther and farther away, that buff should leave me alone. See, as I said, it's a buff. Someone just has a really high level buff. So this is my companion. I just named him Buster. And no, not because he makes me laugh like Buster Keaton. Just, I don't know, maybe something close to Ghostbusters. I don't know, the ghost. He was the reason I got specifically this mount, and I'm glad I don't have to look for it and fetch it. Yeah, I got this ghost horse mount. And I believe this is the only unique companion he has. There's 2 other characters where I believe they have 2 unique companions. What I mean by unique is a little bit something higher than green. I believe this companion is a green level. And I just mean green, blue, and purple in terms of their rarity. Blue is a little bit more, green is a little bit more common. Blue is that rare, and purple is really rare. I know those aren't the proper terms, but I'm just trying to give you a clear example. Now let me just check if he has any extra companions. I don't think so. Cause yeah, the white ones, your white ones will usually be your starters. So those are the weakest. And then it goes to your next to your greens. Now, like I said, all the companions I have, I purchased through the Zen market. You can obtain free white, green, and I even think blue. And at the offset, I believe at endgame you can get purple. So there is an option to get free companions. I'm a little impatient. I'd rather start a game as powerful as I can, so there's no disadvantages or, like I tend to sometimes come a little late into MMO, so I don't like to walk into a disadvantage. Or if I want to go into a dungeon and I kind of want to like play it by myself, I'd rather not feel handicapped. Sorry for that. Let me move on to my other character and his companions. There's another oh yeah, that's 6. He was they call him a control wizard. And Titan, I have a class of each race, each class. I didn't mean to make doubles, but I started running out of races. I didn't purchase the dragon race because I just feel like that one time lump sum of that one purchase, I just think it's too much specifically for a race. I rather prefer something that would have helped me out a little bit more beneficial. He's my Titan was a guardian fighter. He's a great weapon fighter. Now, funny story, him and the next character I'm going to show you, I kind of switched the companions I should have gave them. He doesn't really need heals that much. I thought he would have need heals because he has to be, he obviously, as you see how he's swinging that. And you know what, I didn't even, wait, hold on, you know what I just noticed? They shortened my axe. It actually was longer. It's a little shorter. Wow. It's shorter. My handle was a lot longer. But anyway, I thought because he had to fight closer to bad guys, he would need heals. But I sustain a lot of damage from him, and I don't usually need health. So she's a cool. She's closest to one of the exclusives I have, besides that the first one I showed you, Antano, with the rock looking, like she's a purple, and yeah, I believe she's a purple. Let me see. Yeah, she's a purple. Named her Sugar, and the other one's a purple. And the characters I've shown between it, they've been like the orb was blue, the Buster was green. I like to stay there. I'll never use a white, and actually I don't like using greens, as you'll see. The whites I just use, if you put them in these slots, you can benefit from the active bonus right there. Just point to that real quick before it goes out. Or if I'm just going to leave it up there so you can find it. And the active bonus, if you put them in any of these slots, even when your companion isn't summoned, you'll still get that bonus. So I tend to just try to, when I'm getting free companions, I try to just get ones that'll give me recovery of health. So on my downtime, I'm healing. So I don't always have to look for campfires, because campfires will heal you. Also, as you level up, I don't think it matters between green, blue, or purple, but every 10th level you can change your character's skin. It doesn't change that much from earlier levels.
Music gives life meaning.
So like it's not really much of a difference. Like maybe a little bit of her special effects would have changed. They level side by side with you, but I noticed they tend to gain a lot of levels every time you finish a quest. So if you want to level them up fast, you should go ahead and finish a quest. Also, something I just noticed, I'm going to hurry up and get this out the way just for now, and also to explain it to you. This is your companion. Now, you don't really even have to focus on this, your companion collection. It's just telling you all the things you collected. Some items that are not character bound, you can trade them to your other alts, and as long as you don't claim it or double click it, as long as your alt had it in his inventory, it'll go into his collection. So if you just want to be a collection hog, you can go ahead and try to do that. I don't really mind or even care to even partake in a companion collection, because this isn't something I care to like have a collection of. I'd rather have a collection of game titles. So I was just, this is just a mention of people like collecting things. It's there for you. Another thing